keeping it shit. Fuck.
All right, staying in the neighborhood, we
Yeah.
have Jay-Z,
Yes.
Reasonable Doubt, and this is crazy because this is a limited pressing of 500, which was a collaboration between Maidworn, clothing designer, and they basically make like vintage T-shirts where they'll take like a T-shirt that's new, they'll try to make it look like it's an old T-shirt by like wearing it out and then charging like $127.
All right. Okay.
Just run the car
Yeah,
over it,
yeah, yeah.
and put
So
it in a
like,
bag.
yeah,
and
exactly.
Right.
You know, so
shout to them though.
yeah, so they basically reissued this album, 500 copies, Maidworn of Reasonable Doubt, and your cut on here was
Can I take a peek at
yeah,
the actual
absolutely.
cover?
Yeah. And actually,
So they were able to repress this album in its entirety as it. That's crazy.
yeah.
Wow. I never knew that. That's wild. The artwork's super dope.
So actually, before we start talking about this, I want to read something from Jay-Z's Decoded.
Okay.
Yeah, and he says about regrets. He says, "This is the last song on my first album, Reasonable Doubt. The album as a whole was like a conversation I was having with the listener about real feelings and emotions. The album went from the highs of the hustler's life and songs like Feeling It to the paranoid depths of the evils. I wanted to end it with regret, that last feeling you have before you go to sleep, or feeling you wake up and look at yourself in the bathroom mirror." So that's what this song's about. But tell us your take and your story, your history with Jay-Z Regrets.
It's my favorite song
Yeah.
that he's ever done.
Yeah.
Love the album.
Yeah.
You know, the album came out, I was 14,
Mm-hmm.
96. Yeah. I was 14. And I was turning 14. My birthday's in December, so
Gotcha.
I always have to do the math. But I remember having the tape as a kid,
Yeah.
and I remember getting it, but getting it more later because I was
Right.
13, 14.
Yeah.
So I knew a lot about what was going on outside.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in the neighborhood and having older friends who ran around and having friends my age who ran around, but I wasn't supposed to understand everything on that at
Of course.
13, 14. That would have been a horrible effort on my parents' part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my parents are awesome, so I didn't understand everything that was going on there.
Right.
But I knew enough of it, and more importantly, I knew lyricism. And the lyricism that was displayed in that project, the production displayed in that project, the storytelling as well. With him as a storyteller, I think people overlook him because when you think of a storyteller, you think, you know, person, place, thing.
Right.
You think characters and names. And so we went here and we walked in the door and then we opened the window and so-and-so looked up and then we went downstairs like Biggie does, which is
Right,
amazing.
right.
Like Nas does, which is amazing. Jay never did that. Jay never really told stories that said, we walked in. I mean, he did a couple times with
Right.
Friend of Foe,
yeah,
and things like that. But it was very rare that he would say, we walked in the room and opened the door and then we saw this and we turned back around.
Yeah.
That wasn't the way he told stories.
Right.
He told stories saying, these are the things I'm dealing with, the things I've gone through,
Right.
Yeah.
and the things that I still go
They were in
through.
Yeah.
fragments.
Exactly.
Like he told, yeah.
But it was one piece here. This track is one story,
Right.
but it's not. There was a day I went outside and sold rocks to a fiend.
Yeah, yeah.
It's never like that.
Yeah.
It's like the things I got to do outside would make you lose your mind. Like you know,
Right,
it,
right,
it would
right.
be that type
Right,
of storytelling. And I took a lot of that from him. So I tell stories in a big sense, but most of my stories in more of a J sense.
Okay.
Like you said, it's fragments. You know what I
Fragment,
mean?
yes.
And the way I go about it. And this record is just the clearest representation and example of that. Love the beat, love the production, and just the way it feels and what he was saying, you know?
Yeah, and also, I mean, a testament to that as well is Friend or Foe, obviously.
Right.
And then, you know, we talked about this on the Chromeo episode, is how he integrated it into the Streets is Watching movie.
Right.
And like, you know, but it sounded like he wrote those songs for the movie in a way. They were
Right.
so visual.
Yeah.
But then you did your Friend or Foe Part 3.
Right.
Kind of continuing that storyline from the perspective of the kid. That
Yep.
was, yeah, so I'm curious, like, one, did Jay ever hear any of that? Or
I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell you the truth. You
Yeah.
know, I got approached by Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.com.
Yeah, yeah.
So my man Rob Markman, shout out to Rob.
Yep.
And JFK, those guys over there, they hit me up. And they said, yo, man, we're doing the 25th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah.
We have an idea. So what's up? So they said, we're trying to get other artists. We're trying to get a bunch of artists to redo a record of Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah.
So is it 14 records? So we want 14 artists to redo.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'm the only one who did it. I don't think anyone else did it.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I could be wrong, I think I'm the only one who did a record
Yeah.
for them. I don't know if people were scared or turned it down, whatever. But they came to me with the concept.
yeah.
They said, you know, Friend or Foe, Jay gets this guy, he kills him. In part 2, he kills him, whatever. We can group it all as one. What if that guy had a son and it's been 20 years?
Right.
So that infant son is 20 years old.
Right.
he wants revenge.
Right.
What do you think?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My only kind of pause for whatever is people aren't that intelligent.
Right.
And I don't want people thinking it's a
Diss record. Right.
You know what
right.
I mean? Like,
right.
people aren't that intelligent. So we went back and forth a lot about it, and Rob is a very, very close personal friend of mine. He's
Yeah.
like family.
Yeah.
So I did it for Rob.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yo, I don't know, man. I was like, I'll kill this. Like, this concept, like, I was excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll kill this, man. But people are stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't want people, yo, why is he coming at Jay-Z out of the blue?
Right.
What the fuck? And,
Yeah.
you know, so I sat on it for like a day.
Yeah.
And I hit him back, and I was like, yo, let's do it. I'm going to knock that out for you. And I was like, I'm going to really knock this out, though, because it's very creative.
Yeah, of course.
And as an MC and as a lyricist, though, it's like being asked to go outside and play one-on-one.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's kind of sparring. I was like, yo, I can't wait to do this, you know? And I had a blast. What I will give the people credit for is I think one person was like, is this a diss? Everybody else got it.
Awesome.
So that was cool.
So you have some smart people in the room.
Yeah, and hopefully what I did on the record opened up the door enough for them to really see through and say, oh, we get it. It's not a diss,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
But back to Regrets, man. It's a fantastic record. It's my favorite record of his by far, like landslide. Landslide favorite song of